Get your pen and paper, get your organizer, get your diary ready. It's a firework today.
Can we start?
Okay. Thank you everyone for being here this hour. We're hitting the ground running on these global imperatives. We are starting the week 3 out of week 27 of this global phenomenon. I'd like to welcome every one of you to the show. Am I clear enough? Is anybody hearing me?
Yes, we are.
Thank you very much.
Can
Okay, welcoming everyone to the show. We finished week 1 just like that. We also did justice to week 2. Now we're in week 3, the first session of it. One thing you will notice and come to appreciate about the GROMS imperative is that it's a cascade. We leave one, we go to another, and another, and another, so that no recovery manager is left in doubt of what next, and what next, and what next. And that's how we are possessing our world and taking the globe based on who we are. No little thanks to God Almighty for the successful consecration of recovery managers. A Chinese proverb says, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a step, while Cyber Resources added a clause to it, a step in the right direction. So now that we are anointed and appointed, it's time to go to the field with our fire, having possessed all our foxes for our finances as we fine-tuned that which is our brand, and to hitting functions, giving our focus with the facts on ground for fulfillment in our lives. So today, we want to understand the terrain where recovery happens. Where does recovery happen? In the last session, we saw the terrain of the one who needs recovery. Who is the persona needing recovery? And what is the gamut when you say recovery in pragmatic terms? So now we want to see, where does it happen? When I do recovery, what is the whole hues and cry about detoxification? rehabilitation, and psychosocial facilities. I told you of a client in the field who came in to report a son who is a dealer in drug and substance abuse in town. And he brought this guy for rehabilitation. You now know what rehabilitation is. It's not that until you keep somebody behind lock and key of a place. So in the course of our conversation, I said, Madam, I'm going to run this diagnosis and run that and run this. In her own testimonial, she was surprised that she checked around the facility. She couldn't see any heavy machines, equipments, where we'll just take the young man and push his head into a cubicle, a screen, a gadget, and then press buttons to start reading and reading out facts and figures about the boy. To cut the long story short, the boy became okay after 2 weeks and no longer peddled drugs, let alone using it or abusing it, as the case may be. When you know what to do, where to do it, recovery becomes an easy work. And in recovery, the individual doesn't necessarily have to be down and out. Somebody who is doing good needs recovery to do it better. Somebody who is doing better needs recovery somehow to do it best, until your client arrive at an apogee, at a zenith called best version. Recovery is not finished. So recovery managers in the house and in the diaspora, know today that your work and journey in recovery management does not end with a client getting well and say, you are okay now, you are well, eh? Oh, glory to God. And you leave the boy, you leave the teenager and say, it's okay now. Yes, it's okay. Okay to be who? Okay to become who? Because as recovery managers, you must wear the domain spectacle. You can say my own goggle. Every time you are interfacing and interacting with a client, either in the good, the bad, and the ugly mode, you must wear your domain spectacle. Why am I laying this foundation? Recovery must become a way of life before it can become a game in the field. Write it down. Recovery must become what? A way of life before it becomes a game in the field. And if you are not ready to play the game, you will fight the war. Relapse looks for people who don't understand the recovery as a game. So it's how to post resistance through risk factors, through triggers, through complexities, complicities, and to tell you, hey, this one has been loose, and say you are carrying go. That's how recovery will work. So what are we saying? It is very vital you wear the domain spectacle in recovery management. And domain spectacle, first and foremost, addresses the totality of your client's persona, who he is, who she is mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually. You must help him to find his place and to take his space in his own persona. That's recovery. Beyond that, you need to go ahead to help him identify. Mama, what happened? Send me a chat. You must go ahead to help him identify his potential, because these are all critical areas for domains you work on within them. Domains within for dominion without. Don't pray for me to work in dominion when you have not shown me the apparatus within me that will incentivize me and empower me to take possession on the outside. It is positioning within for possession without. It is posturing within for the picture on the outside. So that's the second domain. And then the third domain is the productivity essence of your client. You need to know that. When you know that, and you do that, then your client will be good to go. If I may add, the fourth place you need to get your client for domain is the place of his powerhouse. He has a powerhouse. He has a powerhouse, his engine room. Every automobile is powered by what? The engine inside. And on very many occasions, even in your dream, you don't see engine outside. If you sleep and you have a dream where you see the engine of a car outside, please wake up, pastor, and bind Satan. It's a bad dream. Just like if you see an empty sack standing, it's a bad dream. So please, recovery managers, for you to be invasive in your approaches, ensure that you route and release your client from the angle of his 4 domains. When we are training with our partners, NDLEA and the rest, I will expose you and take you to the height of the domains. They are actually 10. But in all of these 27 courses, 27 weeks or whatever, I will expose you to maybe 5 domains. I've just shown you 4 now. The first one is what? The persona. The second one is what? The potential. The third one is what? The production. And the fourth one is what? The powerhouse. The what? The powerhouse. The engine room. The place of a niche, which we came up in our last training at NDLEA, that getting the first niche is necessary, but no longer sufficient. You can't tell me you are working on things and you only help them to arrive at their first level niche, where their identity is underscored. You must go down to their second level niche by the second triangle we drew. Now, some of you who missed class and who have not gone back to the YouTube channel to watch and take your lessons, what I'm saying now you will understand. Then, from your second triangle, you cascade it to a larger triangle, which is what? The place of viral productivity. So he has an identity, serves from the place of authority for what? Viral productivity. At those points of niches, you don't say, don't do draw, these are trigger, these are risk factor, and the housing environment. No. He has taken a flight to another dimension where he has passed the level of sobriety. From sobriety to success factors on a daily basis, to building of skills, to scaling, and then to significance. So when rehab centers discharge people, you know how they base whether the guy is okay or not. They check for sobriety. First month, second month, third month. Once the guy is okay, after 3 months, they say, he's okay. No. Global Recovery Management System says you must track, trace, trunk this guy to the point whereby he becomes a phenomenon in the society. So recovery managers in-house, are you ready to become the phenomenon, the phenom? Then you need to understand where recovery happens. So if you are ready, do your hand this way. Say, I, James Komolafe,
I, Stella
solemnly declare
declare
that I am a phenomenon
that I am a phenomenon
in the globe
in the globe
for recovery management,
for recovery management,
horizontally and vertically.
horizontally and
vertically.
I shall recover men and materiality
I
I
shall
shall
recover
recover men and materiality
across all their domains
across
across
all
all
the
their domains,
so that they can walk in dominion.
so that
so
they
that
can
they
walk
can
in
walk in
dominion.
dominion
360 degree.
360 degrees.
360 degrees.
So help me God.
So
So
help
help
me
me
God.
Thank you
So
very
help
much.
me God.
Thank you, Ajia. Thank you, Pastor. Thank you, Coach. Thank you, everyone. It's God's help we need because this work is beyond us. It's beyond our ability. So we need God to just help us. So first level cascade, second level cascade, third level cascade, niches are speaking. When we finish this training by God's grace, I'm going to take all of you for nicotherapy. I'm going to turn all of you to a nicotherapist who create niches for people, work on people's niches. The niceties of any man, institutions, and organizations cannot come out until a nicotherapist comes to the fore to see how balanced your niches are or how balanced your niche is. Put it in proper perspective. Lopsided niches are corrected. Niches suffering paralysis can be reawakened. Niches that are impaired, digressed, depressed, denounced, oppressed can be worked on. Say, doctor, what are you saying? Yes, niches can be sick. We have sick niches. The guy knows what to do, but he does not do what he knows. There are niches that are placated. Some are truncated. You hear people say, if wishes were horses, even beggars will ride. It's a niche. So let's leave that for today and do what we are going to do, which is still part of what I have just said now. So, understanding where recovery happens. It happens in detoxification. It happens in rehabilitation. And it happens where? In psychosocial facilities. Now, can you see the last one? Is the last one, not the first. It's the last one. Happy anniversary to everyone in the house, and happy holiday. When you hear recovery, the first place our mind goes to is the psychosocial facility. No. Recovery does not begin from there. It's not the first place. Yes, don't we need them? Quite okay. We need the recovery homes, recovery offices. Everywhere you go, in order to become your better version, is a recovery place. We established that in the last session.
I don't know if we can restrict it. That's probably discussing with the leadership of the office and seeing whether they can give.
Recovery Manager Augustine, can you mute your set?
5,000 as the suspects are coming in here for this counseling. That can
Okay,
also
I'll
form a
mute you
little
now.
bit of a bulk of much more money that can come in a week.
I muted him. He's doing another meeting, which is also part of what we are saying. So in recovery management, I thought you are muted. So what is
about the sensitization,
detoxification?
I would even have liked why I even, for instance,
Uncle Augustine, can you mute?
a unit that me.
Difficult. Okay, I muted him now. Good, I muted him. What detoxification does? What does it do in recovery management? To understand detoxification, you have to know what toxins are. Toxins are negative chemicals released into an individual to cause contamination, pollution, and to change the body chemistry of that individual in an attempt to sponsor a bad behavior. There are physical toxins, emotional toxins, mental toxins, and spiritual toxins. Do you know there are words that could be spoken that contaminates, and immediately you see the impact. The one bad thing about drug addiction is that the toxin it releases don't show up immediately. They incubate because they are accommodated, they accumulate in order in toxin psychology. Whatever is accepted from external in the name of substance use, substance abuse, drug addiction will what? Will be accommodated. And once you accommodate it, you accumulate it. And once there's accumulation, what happens? Incubation begins. So every toxin released by substance abuse goes in there to change the body chemistry, mind chemistry, distort some certain neurons in the brain, the serotonin, the oxytocin, and so many others are distorted. And the individual begins to misbehave. And one bad thing about toxins is that it will now change the attitude of the individual and convince him on the inside that he's on the right track. That's why most people in drug addiction, substance abuse, they live in denial. They can be under influence and yet be telling you how that they are going to become great, how that they are going to build skyscrapers for their parents and all that. They may be school dropped out. That won't be a bother to them. They'll say, don't worry, things will change very soon. So, and that's why surface counseling may not just support the cause of rehabilitation when you don't know the degree of vulnerability of your client. So detoxification is the art and science of checking what toxins has invaded this life. So if it is an invasion from toxins because of substance use and abuse, then you can't do less as a recovery manager not to
recently
invade.
still on now.
So you have to invade. If drugs will invade into lives, then as a recovery manager, you must use invasive strategy to rid them of drugs. Drugs releases toxins into people to form some certain compounds, chemical compounds in their brains, in their emotions, in their passion that comes out as action. And when people see it, they see attitude. And it can be mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual. So, it's a whole gamut there we need to understand about toxins. So, in detoxification, we also do our work as recovery managers to diagnose what exactly it is so that we can do intervention. You diagnose to do what? Intervention. Where your diagnoses are wrong, then your intervention too will also not be okay. So it is very pivotal that you know what You are detoxifying. So, recovery does not happen in one place. It happens across a continuum of care depending on a person's clinical condition, behavioral needs, psychosocial circumstances, family environment, and level of community support. So across this gamut, you have recovery going on. What are the gamuts? It doesn't happen in one place. It happens across a continuum of care, depending on the condition, the clinical condition of the individual. One, the behavioral needs. Two, the psychosocial circumstances. Three, the family environment. Four, and the level of community support. Five. Recovery happens across all these gamut. So the question now is this, doctor, what does detoxification do? What is detoxification? And what does it actually accomplish? Detoxification is the medically supervised process of helping a person safely. How do you medically, psychosocially, mentally help an individual to safely manage his physical and psychological effect of stopping or reducing the use of psychoactive substance? Anything you do in this line is called detoxification. That's why I told you it's beyond just physical toxins released in the body. It corrodes the integrity of the mind, the integrity of the eyes, the integrity of the ear, how they hear, and the integrity of the mouth, how they talk. Have you seen somebody who is depressed speaking? You say anything, he misunderstands you, and he can get it on you. Most times you call it demo. It's not demo. Toxins are working. So in detoxification, you assist medically, psychotherapeutically, mentally. It can even be through counseling. And the person comes to light. He sees something in the right order now and say, wow, Mama, thank you very much. You just made my day. That is recovery management. That is detoxification. It's not until I carry chemical, though where needed, you use it as a detoxifier. There are globally scalable acceptance best practices to do detox in rehab centers. But we are saying beyond that, after taking MAT, medically assisted therapies, where they serve drugs, they stabilize the guy, they give antidepressant and all of those things, they are all tools that may be required in detoxification. But beyond that, there are still some other levels of detox. They do behavioral therapy. They check what is the content of the mind, the context of the mind of this guy now. What is his emotional strength? What is his mental stability? You check all these things. What about his physical structure and support? Is he looking pale and frail? What is a sleep protocol looking like? So in recovery management, you don't handle one and leave others. And that's why our work becomes so basic and germane in the whole world. Nobody's doing it. You release an individual from the hospital to go home, he goes to his house. If you see any doctor, follow up on anybody who comes to the clinic, to even see doctor for 10 minutes, you are thanking God that doctor saw me. Let alone these days of Japa syndrome. To see a psychotherapist follow you home, you can't find. To follow you home to do what? It's none of their business. And that's why people will queue endlessly to just have a peck and go thing. To go and do what? And then they come back and come back and come back and come back. So in recovery management, detoxification helps on a continuum. It's not a one-size-fits-all. It's not a peck and go thing. It's continuous. And for people in drug addiction, you are saying, I want to help you stop it, which is not a day's job. He built his life over time through that trunk that truncated his character and his lifestyle. So you must help him down the route to also walk away, first by reduction, and then secondly, by ultimate elimination. So please, just like somebody who have not fasted before, you can't give him marathon to do for the first time. No. Take him, okay, skip your... Sorry for the break in transmission. Recovery manager, Stella Okorigo, I'm going to make you a co-host now so that we can always have a continuum. So our class too needs recovery management. And that's the story of life. There's no one size fits it all anywhere. We all need recovery management everywhere. So look at what happened in recovery, in detoxification. The primary purpose of detoxification, recovery managers, is to stabilize and to save. It's for stabilization and for safety. If you ask Augustine, what do you do in recovery? Say, to get the guy stabilized now. So anything you do, Muteolori, to get that thing stabilized is called detoxification. Every toxin inside them, mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually, will rock their personal equilibrium. Oh, Mama Kudirat, Ajia, can you hear me now? Is everybody hearing me now?
We can hear now, sir.
Okay.
We
Sorry.
can hear.
You can hear me now. Good. Now, if we don't understand some of these terms, we would think recovery management work is a difficult one. It's one of the simplest work on earth. When you know the science, you can do the art. Say after me, when I know the science,
When I know the science,
I will do the art.
I will do the art.
When I don't know the science,
When I don't know the science,
and I am doing the art,
and I'm doing the art,
then I'm likely to misbehave.
then I'm likely to.
So, the primary purpose of detoxification is stabilization. How do you know when the individual is stabilized? All the toxins.
And do a clandestine sensitization.
Okay, maybe I should mute everybody. Mr. Augustine. Okay, I muted him again. So, detoxification may help to manage withdrawal symptoms. Now, what are withdrawal symptoms? It is the craving that happens in the one taking drugs that spurs him to go and do it again. When he's detoxified, what happens? He forfeits the concentration of that same toxins inside him that makes him to lose his personal identity, that makes him to misbehave. Just like when you fast and you don't eat food, when you wee, what happens? You see, your urine is full of concentrate. You see color and all that. Why? Those things inside you are having opportunity to come out. You drink water, it detoxifies you the more. Toxins come out of you. So also in detoxification generally, you help people manage their withdrawal symptoms. That craving that says you can't be free without doing me, it comes down. Then you're able to reduce immediate medical risk. That's why water is one of the best detoxifier. When you do water therapy, it cleanses your gut, makes you sane, your blood pressure comes down, detoxifying your body temperature, and reduces your pH risk. Detoxification monitors vital signs and physical condition. Detoxification does that. Detoxification also helps identify complications requiring medical attention. Now, as recovery managers, we are not medical doctors. And please, never must you take the place of a medical personnel. You are not one. I'm not a medical doctor. When you know your onions, you will know that which is not yours. You will know where your work ends or where your words must receive a pause. There was a case I wanted to handle through spiritual detoxification, and they called me and said, "Doctor, this boy is physically weak. Please, we can't fly him to you in Abuja. We want him to see the doctor first and get well and get strong." I say, "Yes, please go ahead. If the body physiology is weak and you have mind psychology to work on, please treat the body first. He needs to be able to carry himself before you work on his brain and on his life. So a doctor carries out detoxification, recovery manager carries out detoxification, mental health expert, coaches, all you are doing is detoxifying. Because some toxins cannot be seen, but their effects are always known and seen. Detoxification provides appropriate medical and psychological support. Detoxification also prepares the individual for the next stage of treatment and recovery. Do you know sleep is a detoxifier? Somebody who is confused and unstable. You can find out and say, sir, have you been sleeping well? He said, that's one of my problems. Oh. I hardly find 2 hours sleep. Don't say, my God. Then you are not a recovery manager. You are a quack. Don't say, Jesus, it's risky. Oh. No. You must package your emotion to manage people's condition in order not to damage their class. You must package your what? Your emotion to manage people's condition in order not to damage their class. Because every man who comes to you has a class that is responding to, whether he's aware of it or not. So recovery and detoxification do this. So what are the critical GROMS lessons? Detoxification is not the same as recovery. Detoxification is one of the roads to recovery, but it's not complete recovery. So that guy is out of recovery, a rehab, where they have done detoxification, is not an end game. Please, the journey continues. We've taken toxins out of him, mentally, emotionally, physically, and otherwise. It's time to take him out of those toxins so that his bigger picture reality can be reinforced after installing it. And it is still detoxification. So a person may successfully complete detoxification and still have what? Cravings. Uncle Augustine will tell you that. That to detoxify him does not make him automatic. That's why human beings are not automations that just press button. Since it took him a while to climb to the level of abuse, then it starts coming down steeply as well. So the cravings will still be there, but they are managed through therapies. That's why, you see, after somebody have stayed in rehab and they are going to discharge, they say, okay, start coming weekly. And then bi-monthly, monthly, once in 2 months. And then they say, I beg, do your own thing. You've bounced back. So there's no hard and fast. A woman who is pregnant, you can't do a rush one to say, this child must come out in the 6th month. Then you're asking for something else. So a person may successfully complete detoxification and still have cravings, behavioral problems, can still misbehave small. When you kill a snake and you cut the head, it doesn't mean the snake is dead. It's dead in principle. But try and touch the skin. It can still wriggle and all that. Unhealthy thinking patterns are still there. Unresolved emotional issues that he left at home that were part of his triggers the flashes are still in his brain. Dysfunctional relationship. Maybe he fought, and that fight was one of the triggers that brought down his emotional instability. And it was not settled before he came to therapy. He's still going home to meet the condition. That's why our work is so rife. Don't talk to those children at your hub without knowing whether the ecosystem at home favors recovery or not. Otherwise, you fix it here, it becomes futile at home. So we need to know how detoxification can help environmental triggers, and then poor coping skills can still be rife even after detoxification. And they can still be high on relapse risk. Therefore, what do we do in detoxification? Detoxification stabilizes the body. Recovery management rebuilds the life. I told you, ab initio, that every detoxification is for two things: safety. You need it for safety. And you need it for what? Stabilization. Stabilization first is stable. You can see physically. He's not panting up and down. He's not saying something else when you ask him something. So on the physical, you can see that he's stable. And then, how do you bring him to the place of safety? Between the two, stability and safety, is called sobriety. If he's not sober, he will not navigate from the place of where? Stabilization to the place of safety. He won't follow you. He will still want to desire his past. But sobriety brought him to a position of personal realization where he knows that, I'm out of drugs. A new person is here. A new John is here. This is why I'm using John all the time. Let me start saying James. A new James is here. Things are not the same with me. And I have a new journey to make. So your work as a recovery manager, in whatever fit and capacity you find yourself, in your own track and trunk, you are helping him to make that journey a very good one. So, very vital to know this point. Recovery manager's question is, now that the person is medically stabilized, what must happen next to prevent a return to the old pattern? Psychologically stabilized, mentally stabilized, behaviorally stabilized. You know, parents, when they know you as a recovery manager in your own critical area, maybe you handle things, they will start bringing their children to you, reporting them to you. So you are a detoxifier, even without chemicals in your hand. What's your target? Their mind, their emotion, their will, to help them reorganize from the inside to the outside. And in the previous class, I have shown you how to do diagnosis. Very simple. Without drugs, without fanfare. So that's why the place of your niche is very vital as a recovery manager. The one we did at NDLEA last month or so, a session before the last one, where I showed you where your own persona aggregates with your potential for productive essence of your value, so that where people know what is unique about you for a unique selling proposition, you become a magnet there. People will look for your service. People will love what you are doing, and jobs will start looking for you. Private, public, government, institutions, NGOs, and all the rest. So very vital. Let's answer the second question. What does rehabilitation does? I've told you what detoxification do. If detoxification stabilizes the person, what does rehabilitation accomplish? Look at the answer. Rehabilitation addresses the broader behavioral, psychological, social, and functional dimensions of recovery. In detoxification, you take out something from his mind, from his skin, from his thought, from his sight, from his mouth, the way he talks. But in rehabilitation, what do? You take him out of all of those things. You address his behavior on a broader sense, his psychological persona, his social dimension. Is somebody withdrawing before? In rehabilitation, you are helping him not to withdraw. Is somebody isolating before? In rehabilitation, you are saying, what is the root cause analysis of this withdrawal, isolation, and you confront it. Through what? 3S equals to what? 1I, which you all know. The situation on ground, the solution at hand, and what? The strategy required. So rehabilitation helps the individual understand the problem and to develop healthier behaviors, build coping skills, and repair relationship. It's part of rehab. I wanted to do a discharge in one rehab, and the guy told me, I said, doctor, please take my wife's number. Please help me talk to my wife. It's rehabilitation. That is free from drug now. I need to balance the home level. So please talk to my wife. This is my wife's number. So that he doesn't get back home and say, hey, you have carried your wahala, come again. Okay, you will see yourself. So very vital. And then it helps to develop responsibility and prepare for productive lifestyle. So that's why as a recovery manager, you are going to need a great deal of tact to deal with parents, to relate to parents. You have all kinds of difficult parents. Is Muta O'Leary here? Share with us in 2 minutes your experiences with parents in managing things. How simple? How difficult? How cooperative? All of the time. Auntie Mute, over to you.
Thank you, Doctor. When I started my journey of personal growth before I started working with young people.
Can we see your face, if possible?
Thank you, sir. I never thought I would be called or I would deal with parents. Because from my experience, they're the most difficult set of people to deal with. Number one, every parent will tell you they know how to parent, so you cannot tell them how to raise their children or how to parent their children. Because they just believe that if they have the capacity to give birth, then they have the capacity to train. But over time, we've seen that that is not true. That's as false as anything, because if you don't develop yourself, there's no way you can add value to your seeds or to the product or to your children or to anybody in particular. So you have all manners of parents, just as we do personality assessment. That is how the temperament and nature of parents are. They don't, now we all have different beliefs. Some parents don't believe that they should have conversation with their children. So you see that communication gap, very huge communication gap in many homes. So they don't believe that they should have time to talk to their children. Should I use the word like normal human beings? All right. They are seen like this, I gave birth to you, so I can talk to you the way I want. Another gap that we saw again is the generational gap. So you find a lot of parents say, when I was growing up, I dare not. This is how we do it. So this is how you must do it. But they forget that the generation the children are growing up is totally different from theirs. Except they are teachable, then they were able to learn the skills that they need to equip their children for this generation. But many parents are not ready to transform, to adapt. They're not ready to learn. So we have that problem where the children cannot relate, and the children cannot relate to their parents. They keep saying, my parents don't understand me. And the parents cannot relate with the children because they cannot fathom the fact that simple things, the way they were raised, like beating, shouting, and all that, some of these things don't work in this generation anymore. But some parents don't want to go. So when you're dealing with such people, already there's a wall. And then we have another gap, which is I've talked about communication gap, I've talked about the age gap, which is the generational gap, and then the digital age, which is making it very difficult for parents to understand. I've been in conferences where you're talking about AI, and parents can't understand why you should encourage their children to use AI. All right, so they just believe that, they can do it their own way. So there's no understanding, there's no communication, there's no relationship. That's the third one, relationship gap. There's no relationship between the children and their parents. And honestly, you cannot correct someone that you have not connected with, that you have not empathized with, that you don't know how they feel. So these are some of the things we face in the field. I really didn't want to be there. But when I realized that most of the work we do with the children, by the time we are done with them and they go back home, when they have seen the light and they want to be transformed and they're taking decisions, to be better person, they go back home and meet a parent who is untransformed, a parent who remains the same, who doesn't understand, who don't trust the changes and transformation happening in children's life. They go back deeper, like when the demon left and came back with 7 others, these children go back deeper than when they started. So that was how I found myself in parenting coach. So it was, I keep telling God that you sent me here because honestly, parents are the most difficult people to relate with. Thank you very much.
Thank you, recovery manager Muteolori there. Muteolori powers teens across Nigeria in their tens of thousands. So that's why I needed to leverage her experience and to let you know that parents, they are the difficult one. But you see, when you know your onions, you can always route them. Parents can be difficult for themselves, and to their children. And some of them is not really their fault. They don't know better. I remember when we were young in those days, when my father wants to cane us, he will say, this is the way my father did it. I must do it the way my father did it. And you see, generational gaps are building up. So as recovery managers, it's also a cash cow for us. Every problem you see with a parent, there is a proviso in global recovery management system to turn them to services. That's why I train you to do 3S equals to 1I. You know the situation on ground. Report to global recovery management system. Will pull out of the solution in your head and put it in your hand. and then show you the strategy to sort it. You solve the problem, you create the intervention, then you have the income. So it's a green area. And we are working very closely with Mutel Lori to say, hey, African things are in your hand. It's time to package and manage without the damage. Thank you for that live experience. Now let's go to this question we're answering here. Rehabilitation helps the individual to understand the problem, develop healthier behaviors, coping skills, repair relationship, develop responsibility, and prepare them for productive living. When you are doing this, you are rehabilitating. When you are with families and you sit down with them to produce value, that's rehabilitation. And that's why we told the rehab centers, please, as you are booking the guy, book the parents too. Because the theory of contagion works in toxicity. The child needs detoxification, meaning he has infected some people at home. With that mentality, with that behavior, he has rocked the bottom line of homes and families if they are not strong. He has put them on edge. So we need to help the child and help the parents alike. So detoxification asks the question, how do we safely stabilize the person? While rehabilitation says, how do we help this person change and function differently? If you haven't seen change and new functionality, then the rehabilitation is not complete. So rehabilitation, SARS and MAS, is no longer about a place. It's a state of life. Can I say it again? Rehabilitation, apologies to everyone and to all other experts in the house, is no longer a place. It is a state, the state of life of an individual. If you know that one, then you will open up rehab centers and brand your own special. You won't call it rehab center, you call it excellence hub, productivity emporium. You call it manifestation hub. You look for flashy names to give it. I told you when we started, we said we were Saba Clinic. So people will plead the blood of Jesus over our clinic and reject us in Jesus' name. And they will run away from us. Until wisdom came, we turned clinic to resources. Nothing wrong with faith clinic, management clinic, leadership clinic, marriage clinic. For everything is wrong when you open your own. And why am I telling us this? When we finish this training, we are going to do multiple dedications and consecration of your feet. Some on local level, national level, international level. Please learn from us. Don't just brand yourself any name that will make your very client to run away from you. So, GROMS is asking the bigger question to all who wants to do the rehabilitation. How do we ensure that the change continues? That's the question we're asking. The change, does it continue or not? Very vital. Question number 3, let's be fast. Clinical versus psychosocial function. You need to understand that recovery also happens along that track. The distinction is extremely important for recovery managers. Clinical care primarily addresses the person's medical, psychiatric, and health-related needs. Oh, I'm not a psychiatrist. That's not enough. Oh, I'm not a medical doctor. That's not enough. The one you are has a contributive role to do and to play. And when it is clinical, it may involve medical assessment. There's no rehab facilities in town or anywhere that don't have a medical doctor and they consult with medical doctor. So that's why we're going to work with all professions, all careers. It may involve medical assessment, withdrawal management, medication where clinically indicated. And please, recovery manager, it is never your work to stop anybody from taking drugs. Please. And it is not your work to prescribe drug. Dr. Mbao Nyekwere, are you in the house, sir? Okay, I wish he were here. I would have asked him a question. Okay, he must have gone for one operation or the other. Please don't prescribe drugs. It's not your work. And then don't stop drugs. Okay, doctor, what happened when my clients is insisting on stopping and they come to ask me, what do I say or do? Please guide them to their medical officers. Guide them to their doctors. Because even before doctors will say withdraw, they carry out some certain observances and they look at so many issues, check risk factor, see the behavior, and run medical tests and the rest of it. So please, know that for sure. So it may also involve psychiatric assessment and treatment. It may involve psychometric analysis, just like we run in cyber resources. It may also involve managing co-occurring conditions. Now, what are co-occurring conditions? Somebody comes to you and says, I'm fed up. I'm fed up of everything. I'm fed up of life. One, don't just treat depression. Check. Is it suicidal? Check. Is it hypertensive? Check. Is he sleeping well? Because all these things that accumulate inside them can trigger a bad behavior that consequently leads to a bad decision. Now, recovery managers, let me tell you something about the power of decision. Decision, every time you see it, is a consequence. Before somebody said, I took a position, I decided. It's a consequence of so many things that have gone on his inside and around him. Either good, bad, or ugly. People don't just decide spot on. No, they sit down, they think through it in and out, and then come to a position, which could even be injurious. They say, I don't care. So as a recovery manager, don't look at things from just the surface. And that's why in cyber resources, I run several analyses. I say, let's check this boy for this. Let's check him for this. For this thing he's saying now, I suspect this, I suspect that. So all of you who are coaches, by the time I see your niches, I'm going to create incentives for you that will be your own customized resources to run on your track. And I'm happy some of you who came for the consecration of Global Recovery Managers on Sunday, you wrote your own niches. I will start from there. Those of you who couldn't come for one reason or the other, please, after this class, ask for your own form so that you can articulate your niches. Oh, doctor, I don't know my niche. We will find it out with you and for you because you need your niche for the various pitches in the field. Niche within you for pitches and platform outside of you. Yes, we're all recovery managers, but we have our own best place of use where you are best fitted to package and manage without the damage, where your own energy flows and goes to per time and you excel there. Very vital. So we fix what is inside you to function outside you. So very vital. So clinical versus psychosocial function goes together. In clinical, when you say something is clinical, it means it requires diagnosis to find out what the situation analysis is. So every recovery manager is a clinician. Congratulations. Please clap for yourself. You are a clinician. You're clinical. By the time you want to observe, what is the root cause analysis? What is the case on ground? You are taking a clinical. Thank you, Mute. It's only Mute that answers me. The rest don't answer me. Okay, oh.
He's the one you are discussing with now.
Okay. Okay. So as everybody clap for yourself. Mama. Okay. So very vital.
We're here.
We're all clinicians. Once you can identify a root cause is a problem, and you are trying to provide solution based on verifiable evidence, who are you? You are a clinician. What have you done? You have done a clinical work. You are clinical. So does that make you to go and start a clinic? So we also need to ensure that we do things professionally. So as doctors, psychiatrists, nurses, psychologists, and other licensed qualified clinical professionals, we need to know all this. So what is the psychosocial function? Psychosocial recovery addresses how the person's thoughts, emotions, relationships, families, and environment, social function, are productive. How does all of these affect recovery? Mama Adewoye, you have worked so well among families, parents as well. Can you tell us in one or few words the kind of thought, emotions they parade out there in your bid to talking to their worlds that have addiction? I know of late, you have your niche in addiction management, where you need to meet with one or two parents, and some will even tell you their parents are dead or what have you. What kind of thoughts and emotions do they easily accept you and take to what you say? Do they develop goosebumps? Do they resist you? Are they cap in hand? Are they telling you, oh, we'll give all the support? Over to you, Mama.
Thank you. I wouldn't say that there's support, because you can only support what you know about. You know, there's a lot that is involved, and most of the people that we're dealing with are really grassroots people. They have a lot of problem at hand.
And they are vulnerable.
Yes, and they're vulnerable. So there are too many problems around them that they are dealing with themselves. They're dealing with these people that are supposed to be adults. Those they are not children. They are people that should be catering for their parents in their old age. So most of the parents are in their old age, and then they have to deal with these who have become irresponsible. And it's so pathetic that,
So it's
like
double
I told you,
jeopardy there out in
it
the
is a
field.
double tragedy. So we really didn't get going anywhere. Why? No help anywhere, no assistance. The only help
Thank you.
is if you have physical things to give them, but
Mm,
to sit them down and say, no, they're suspicious even of what you want to do.
that's the
So,
word.
yes, there's no much cooperation for you to say, yes, we are reaching somewhere. There's no
Good.
one that is available because they are even out of their, what you call their cultural setting. They've all just come, as displaced people. These are the major people that I've been dealing with. So
Thank you so very
did
much, ma'am.
yes. Thank you.
Recovery Manager Abimbola Adeniyi, I know you have handled a huge lot. Some psychosocial function while you were active at work. What can you say are the experiences of the thought pattern, the emotional pattern you've seen in the field needing psychosocial help?
Thank you, sir. I actually worked with students. And the
Okay.
challenge students had when I was still in services, majority of them even went into drugs in the first place because of the relationship at home that was not cordial with parents. Some started doing drugs because they needed comfort from their contemporaries, their peers. So they now detached from the home environment and got integrated into the environment where they had the peers, either in the peers' homes or neutrally. Some rented homes because I was working with adult students anyway. But those not married, those are the ones I'm talking about now. So there were gaps between the parents and the children. Some were brought in. And when they were brought in, they were ignorant of so many things that happened before the children left home. That is the parents. So the detachment was so much that the children were bitter. And in some cases, parents were bitter that the children left home without their information. Not mean that they caused it by pushing the children out of the home. So I think, sir, the major concern is the relationship between the children, our clients, and the parents. Because in the first place, these children left home because the environment was too toxic for them. How they can now be reintegrated after rehabilitation? It will cost the parents agreeing to psychoeducation and changing their mindset towards how to handle their children.
Thank you very much. Yes. Now, I've allowed for this, and I'll take more case studies because we are all practitioners in the field. Just to expose to you the gravity and the onus of our assignment when it comes to psychosocial rehabilitation is the fulcrum of it in rehabilitation and detoxification. If psychosocial recovery is not there, the thought, the emotions, the relationship, the environment, and the functionality of life will also be absent. I've gone to detox centers and they will tell me the whole thing I found myself, my mother is the cause. My dad is the cause. And when they are discharged, where are they going back to? Same house. So that's why as recovery managers, we are going to be friends with families and homes, online, offline, on-site. There's a course I'm going to teach every one of us later about how to invade into families, how to invade parents. Otherwise, you can even be hurt by some of their ideologies and idiosyncrasies. Jennifer OJ. Yes,
can we,
ma'am.
sorry, sir.
Yes.
I think you should include how to invade, this youth in the community.
Yes.
Because some of them are not in family, are not in home, just like the last speaker said.
Okay.
So we need to know how to invade them within their grouping too in the community.
Great. Yes. The people who are just vulnerable, who roam about and all of that. Yes, there's also a way to it, Mama. Jennifer OJ, of late, you started going to schools secondary schools and the rest and all of that. Can you tell us some of the emotional, mental issues you see, the thought pattern of those teenagers and all that when you go there to talk about mental health? Okay, because Jennifer is not here. Who is here again? Mama Kudirat Abdul Hamid. You are a societal mama who have seen it in and out in the workplace. Can you tell us some of the behavioral misgivings, emotional confusion, and some certain thought pattern you feel are not okay in the workplace and also in organizations and in various institutions where you have stakeholder?
Sorry, sir, I was muted and forgot that I muted. I was answering you, but I forgot to unmute.
Okay, that's Jennifer OJ, recovery manager. Sir. So tell us
let
before
her continue.
Mama
I will do. No, let Mama talk. I'll talk after I forgot.
Okay, Mama Hajia Kudirat, we want to learn from you, Ma.
Good day, and let me commend the putting together of these structures. They are just talking directly into the reality in the society. You have in homes, you have in schools, children that looking at them, you see the innocence, you read it in them. And they don't even know that what they are doing is harmful to them.
Wow. Wow.
Part of this reality that you see on ground, I was in a school and the teacher complained of, side attractions of some children. And these children, looking at them, they are minors. They are still in their tender ages. So one was found with a phone. And by the time the teacher decided to collect the phone from the child, before they could say 1, 2, the boy had contacted the mother, and the mother was right there before they even finished the class. The person that was talking to them was trying to, sensitize them on bad gang, things that they shouldn't do, that at this age, they don't need certain instruments. They don't need certain tools for their ages, unless if there are people who are older that will be monitoring what they do on them. And this child was, like innocently, he didn't even know that he was doing something wrong. And before the session ended, the mother appeared. And if you see the disposition, the mother was like, why should you collect the phone from my child?
Child abuse.
And the child was like, he doesn't even know that they just say he should submit that. So the woman who was talking to them, who was sensitizing them, now said, Madam, please, where are you from? She was coming from the market.
Wow.
Do you know the value of this phone? She said it's for the sister, it's for the girls, the child sister who is in the university.
Wow.
Can the child unlock this phone? She said, why did you even bring the phone self to school? This is the first time. He has never brought even the phone to the school before. Why did you bring the phone to the school? If Ngozi should know, you will be in trouble. What are we saying? What is she saying? By the time the phone was unlocked, it was filled with naked human beings.
Can you see?
And this little boy, watches those things. And even amongst themselves in the school, they have started introducing. This one we say, I watched something on so. And they know what to press. So much that people, even including myself, I didn't even know what to press to get to the thing that they were trying to show us. So the home breeds a lot of danger. And you know that whatever you find in the society, they are things that are made from home. And then the home, the family throws those things into the society.
Thank you, Mama. So we have all kinds of situation analysis. Yes, Jennifer OJ, recovery manager. You've been going to school of recent. Thank you, Ajia Kudirat, for that encounter. So we have a great work out there. It's a deluge that we have to face. That's why we are doing this training, so that we can marshal out our energies and master our craft too. Yes, recovery manager Jennifer.
Okay. Good morning, doctor. Good morning, everyone. I am more or less creating awareness over behavior. That it is the behavior, whether right or wrong, that gets them to their final destination, whether positive or negative. Like the two mummies have said, I don't know whether the greatest fall is from this phone. What this handset have done to our little ones is unimaginable. It's a very big concern. Like even when their parents don't give them, because they interact with others whose parents can afford it or who know how to get it. Imagine a JS3 girl having iPhone.
Wow.
And I'm asking her, do you know how much this phone costs? And she said, my friend gave me. And I asked, what kind of a friend, male or female? He said, a friend. I said, your boyfriend. She smiled. And I said, why do you think you need a boyfriend at this time? She said, most of my friends have boyfriends.
How old is the girl? How old is the girl?
She is 13. The one I talked to was 13 years old in JS3. And I had to gently make her know that I will not let anybody, not even her parents here. And I asked her, did he give you for free or did he touch you? You people have sex. She put her face down. I said, no, just talk to me. I'm not going to tell anybody. And she said, yes. So he gave her the phone, he gave her, and I was so shocked because she said he is actually a married man living on their street.
Hey.
And I began to, I began to tell her the damage she's doing to herself before she's even 20. That she's just 13 and she'll be 20. I told her about STD. I told her about wanting to go higher than, because now she now knows what sex is and what she can get out of it. That this is how the free women on the street, the people they call Ashawo, that does she know those words, and Olushos, that is exactly what she's doing. And she's told me that she's not the only one, that even the boys in the class, they do it. They go to toilet. They will just say they want to go and urinate. They find their friends will cover them while, one boy and a girl will go. And doctor, is scary. It's like something I never thought of at that age. It's now happening. And
Thank you very much.
And I have children. So, doctor, there's a lot to be done. There's a lot to do, not just the university students and, this
even primary school.
Primary school. They know what to press. They know what site to go.
That's work for us as recovery managers.
There's so much work to be done.
Thank you very much for that. We'll still take some cases. All of us are loaded with experience, but let's run through the today's stuff so that we'll see how many more we can take. Because you see, if we don't open up the charade like this and these chapters, we'll just think our work is okay. Are you fine? Are you not fine? Before you see any of those acts in manifestation, they have gone through several miles and several journeys, of course, in violation and then consequent deviation. That's why there are 3 behavioral positions every recovery manager must know in managing people. First is definition, the good order, where he thinks straight, he talks straight, because it's a straight one from family, or he chooses to be straight himself. Definition, no string attached. The second position is violation, where the individual begins to veer off from his original. And between the veering off line and the original is a gap called violation gap. That's where all the bad behavior will start filling in because of that bad habit that took him off course. And as he grows in that habit, he keeps growing on. And the more he grows in bad habit, the more the distance between his original life. Feeding, the bad habit will start feeding on the original life and polluting his base. And before too long, it becomes an addiction. When does it become an addiction? When this element of the bad life in violation through habits grows up to meet the original life and start dictating to the original life, it has become an addictive behavior. And before you know it, the guy no longer listens to anybody except what is in his inside. That's why if you are handling teenagers, it's a great work you are doing, because if you don't understand all this gamut and bring them back to their original, they will leave original to the bad, which is the violation, and then the ugly, which is the deviation. So life is the good, the definition, the bad, the violation, and the ugly, deviation. We all have materials for this in Global Recovery Management Services to give out to us so that we can manage people well. Now, for a 13-year-old girl to be carrying iPhone given to him by a sugar daddy who can give birth to her just down the street at 13, will that girl grow up to become a medical doctor? No. Will she grow up to become a nurse? No. She'll be distracted. iPhone, what will she learn with iPhone? That's behavioral violation. And then some parents too, you will hear, the way I suffer, none of my children will suffer. And they won't know when they over engage the child. So the child becomes a dunce. He can't use his initiative, not exposed to things that should develop his cognitive competence and capacity. And small thing, he's calling his dad, he's calling his mom. He can't use his initiative because it was not developed. Sir, ma, it is only when you are pressed from the outside that what is inside you will come out. So, but when you say, don't leave them, don't touch them, don't do this, don't do that, you are bottling violation. And when violation grows, Mama, Ajia, it will give birth to violence. And then you see them, they start crying. This is not how I raise you. I raise you like this. I make sure you don't suffer. While you were making sure he did not suffer, he doesn't suffer, you were also bottling up things that should go out. So it's a whole gamut we need to understand. I must thank every one of you who made contribution, and the rest of you make contribution too. But let's go on in the course. Psychosocial function is our critical work. Now, to handle that 13-year-old girl, recovery manager, Jennifer, just told us now, it's not a one-seat stuff. You must dig deep. And please talk to me later over that case file, a case study, case scenario, Jennifer, so that we can see how to help that girl. Otherwise, it is her destiny that is thrown into water before you know it. And she has become vulnerable. How do you do diagnosis for that kind of case? How do you know the comorbidities? Because that girl, before he collects phone, has been collecting money, collecting some other things, deceiving the parents at home, and he may be singing in choir in church, and all kinds of stuff. That doesn't stop her gift and all of those things. So we have a whole work going out there, which are cash cow for all recovery managers. When you are passionate about a particular case, then we train you, help you fine-tune your niche to take on in that aspect of recovery. It's not all of us who will go into rehab. Some of us will do our own in homes, some in schools, some in the offices, some in the workplace, some on the road, depending on your trust. So please, when we finish, I'll put the form there for every one of us on the Global Recovery Management System Hub. If you were not there on Sunday to collect and fill yours, and you need to update your own, you can give us. You want to fine-tune and file out your fire in such a way that you have your services coined out and you can face the field with your fire, burn it down completely and revegetate it afresh and anew. So, psychosocial function, we can't just but must emphasize the need, the gravity in the field, and do the needful as at when due. So, psychosocial function involve counseling, behavioral intervention, family engagement, social support, peer support, life skills development, vocational support. Now, why Nigerian retirement system is warped is that once people are retiring, they expose you to pre-retirement training and they want to give you a vocation. No. The person, you don't know his niche, you don't know his vulnerabilities, you have not discovered his gap analysis, root cause analysis, structural deviation. How do you give him a vocation? That's why even when they give them money and all that, they say, this is not my way. It's official. And then they take to something else for which nobody trains them. That's why as a recovery manager, we're training you to discover and identify your niche early so that you can serve on pivotal fields and get results and make impact and make income as well. Very pivotal. So psychotherapy or psychosocial function involve counseling, behavioral intervention, and we have every of these things in a global recovery management system. We have provision for anything you want to specialize in, to package you, profile you, and project you to go and face it without fail by the grace of God. Family engagement series, we have it. We'll give it to you. If you say, doctor, my own is that I'm facing family headlong. We say, mama, which area? We are not raising generalists, even when we are globally inclined. We are raising specialists in their key critical area, always stand up in order to stand out. That's where we are going. And that's why we are having these courses. We are not bound to finish this today. When you get it, it's better for us. You can assimilate it, then you can go to the field and reap and help humanity. That is the assignment. So it involves counseling, behavioral intervention, family engagement, peer support, life skill development, vocational support, relapse prevention planning, community reintegration, and recovery support. What's the key lesson here? Clinical and psychosocial functions are not competitors. They are complements. They are never competitors. To say, okay, doctors don't want to see psychologists. Please, this imbroglio between doctors and nurses must not find itself in global recovery management system. There's no service that is less. A nurse is as important in global recovery management services like doctor. If your own is just care for the aged, you are as important as a medical doctor to us. So please, we are not humiliating or denigrating any career, any line, whatever. Please, be good in your area. You are not good, we'll train you to be good and sharp so that you can penetrate. So they are complementary. Clinical care may stabilize the person. Psychosocial care helps the person function. And recovery management connects the journey. So what's the nexus in global recovery management system? From clinical to psychosocial to behavioral to social, and then to productive, and at the end it becomes sustainable. Let's be fast. What is residential recovery? You know, we are treating where recovery happens. When is a recovery residential? And when is it useful? Residential recovery provides a structural living environment where individuals can receive intensive support while temporarily separated from an environment that may reinforce harmful behaviors. It is called what? Residential recovery. And we have so many of them in Abuja. Cyber Resources now is not a residential recovery place. People call me from places. They say, doctor, hey, this boy in Lagos misbehaving. I've heard about you. Please, do you have a place? Before I used to tell them, oh, no, I don't have a place. I am running outpatient clinic. Before wisdom came to me, that you don't have a place. Can't you work in collaboration with people who have? And that was how we started collaboration with psychiatric hospitals, with psychosocial centers, and places. Now I have places where no matter what is the case, it's just a dial. And some are even calling us to say, please come and check our place.
You see,
we'll give you good
I don't know
services.
whether the water will be running and then it will run and become falling here, instead of
Mama, mute yourself. So a residential recovery is necessary when your client is violent. One, a residential recovery is necessary when your client is unstable in his emotion. He can sit down now and then in 5 minutes, he's standing up. Where are you going? I don't know. It needs a controlled environment. A residential recovery is a place where your client can receive intensive support with monitoring so that you know he has not gone to do drugs, he has not mingled with his friends, and you can totally separate him on a temporary note against harmful relationship, harmful behavior to monitor him. Now, there's something Global Recovery Management System will build later. It will be a midway between the home and the rehab facilities, where you keep some certain guys, children of the bourgeois, who don't like mingling, and then some parents, they'll tell you, doctor, it's not about the money. Just make sure this boy is fine, and I don't want crowd. We'll create a place where a family can take 3-bedroom flat to say, will send his brother to just come around and all that. There's nowhere where you see this kind of thing doing. Rather, parents want to run away from stigma. They want to hide and all kinds of stuff. And then they don't want you to come to their house. They don't want people to know that they have a son like this or like that. We are going to come into that later, at later time. Before we become certificated, how do you handle such cases? And all that. So, a residential recovery provides what? Structure. 1, 2, supervision. 3, routine. 4, therapy or therapeutic programs. 5, peer support. When I book people in rehab, I deliberately ask not for private rooms. Do you know why I say that? I need my client to cross-pollinate with another. Otherwise, relapse can begin in private room. It's just on its own. Especially when he's becoming conscious. He can carry that mentality and take it back to the family. So I say give him room for 2. Or at most 3. Depending on the financial capacity of the parents. So recovery managers, when you are handling a child with addiction, or suicide or whatever, needing residential recovery, please also find out by wisdom, by emotional intelligence, the financial capacity of the parents. Don't go and book them in a place that they will charge 100,000 per day. They tell you feeding plus drug plus therapy, 100K. And the boy is going to spend 3 months there. Please, work with parents as professionals. Very vital. You know, parents can be very naughty. I'm sorry. When it comes to some of these issues, they will tell you something and tell you, no, doctor, I didn't say so. The same Baba that said, doctor, just take this boy. No matter what it will cost, just carry. By the time you slam B, you say, doctor, how on earth did we discuss it? Please, don't be overtaken by your clients and their relations emotion. Still do your work as professional. They say, don't worry. Put it down and let them have it when their emotion is down. Because emotion can be good, it can be bad, it can also be ugly. Don't just say, it's Baba now. Baba won't change. Condition can make crayfish bend, and he will tell you he didn't say it. So do you begin to fight? So write back and send and say, sir, like you said the other time, we will be commencing this therapy, this treatment, and this is the itemized bill. When it comes to handling finances, I'll tell you more about it. But don't create an unclear effect where parents don't know where you are going. Even when they give you free hand, they will come back and deny it. I'm talking from experience in the field. They will tell you they didn't say so. So you have to be professional and do things professionally so that they can't quote you and say you didn't say it or you said it. So these are the things, residential stuff. And then why am I showing you this? So that when you have a case before you that needs residential recovery, you don't say, I will be coming to the house to manage the guy. It may be conflicting issue or be bringing the person to so place. It can go violent. It can destroy things if it's violent. If it's something that is tendering towards psychotic disorder, he can smile now and be okay. In another 1 hour, he can remove the door of his house. And if you say, why did you do it? He will say, me? God forbid. How can I remove my door? So many issues like that. You need to control the environment for stabilization, one, and then for rehabilitation. If the guy is not stable, don't talk about rehabilitating him. And that's why when they take cases in rehab, the first thing to do in stabilizing them is sedation. Uncle Augustine, are you in the house? They try and sedate him. Let's calm down his brain. Let him sleep. Wake up and sleep. Eat, sleep, and all that. Recovery manager Augustine, are you in the house? We'll have taken one of your many encounters in the field. Okay, he's not here. No problem. So why do we need residential care? One, some individuals may require greater structure because of their environment not safe. I've seen a client who say, doctor, please, not in that house. I can't be well in that house. So you move him somewhere. Some will rent hotel for them if their parents can afford. And then why do you need a residential place when relapse risk is high? There was a place I went training, and the guy, when I took them on drug addiction and mental health, he came and met me and said, doctor, in fact, I came to this job with drugs. And one of the reasons why I took this job is because I want to run away from the environment where we live. Every youth is into drugs. So I took this job and I even came with some drugs. When I handled him and I even had to report to the organization. They threatened to sack him. I said, no, I've worked on him. Because for him to own up and to say he doesn't want, he needs help. So if you sack him and release him back, you're not doing him any good. So very vital. When family environment is unstable, dysfunctional home, and you want to do therapy, treatment, find out, do they have relations around where the boy's brain will calm down? When behavior is difficult to manage in the community, it needs a residential place. But there's a warning in Global Recovery Management Service. The residential environment must not become a substitute for real life. Can I tell you my experience in the field? Not one, not two. There are cases I have taken to a residential place and the boy doesn't want to go home again. Because he eats food, he takes drinks, he watches TV, he's relaxed, he's among some peers there who are also forming a clique. And so he just likes the lifestyle and he wants to make it a second home. Please. It's not a place, a second home. It's a temporary place to just recover. If care is not taken, your client will not want to go home again. He will just desire to want to go there and go there and go there. You must avoid it. The objective should be to prepare the individual for residential stability, home stability, community functioning, and productivity, sustainable relevance. So please, it's part of therapy. When you book people in a rehab center or in another family or in an hotel, there are places I have traveled to that they will book an hotel or they book hotel for me and bring the boy to meeting me. When I see that, okay, he can cope in the house. Or they book hotel and then we'll do it there. Very vital. Quickly, number 5. What is outpatient recovery? Outpatient. If you know Saba Resources, that's what we do. In Zone 2, the GRMSO, you do outpatient recovery. Outpatient recoveries allow a person to receive treatment, counseling, and recovery support while continue to live within the community. They come from their houses, their homes to meet you. It's an outpatient stuff. You have an office, you give them time. Please always make sure you bracket your time for a client. Otherwise, they can engage your whole day. In booking a client, let there be a bracket. Some parents, they like talking. They'll say, sir, please just give me time to explain myself. And after 90 minutes, he's still explaining herself. Let them know, oh, madam, you have so and so in this therapy session. Usually a therapy session is 1 hour. At most 2 with your assessment and the rest of it. And let them know they are paying for it. Very vital. The person may attend scheduled counseling session. That's outpatient recovery. Clinical appointment. There's nothing bad now for you to fix appointment and ask your client to meet you in Saba Resources. There's nothing bad. You can work out an MOU with all recovery managers and you say, doctor, I'll be showing up in Saba Resources since we have the place and the facility every Monday. And I'll be giving my client to meet me there. Yes, you can do it with understanding. Don't think, oh, you are usurping. No, you are not usurping. You are on the field. You can fix therapy, appointment. Support groups can meet you. You can have family sessions. There was a time a whole family traveled all the way from Lagos. Some of the family members, though those times we were not really doing it for money, we were doing it as philanthropic. And family members took flight to meet their dad here. And then we intervened and all that. And they flew back and all that. So you could have sessions like that. Monitoring appointments. You could have educational and vocational programs and all that. What's the advantage of our patient's recovery system? The person learns to practice recovery within the environment where real life pressure actually occurs. They must learn to deal with what? Work, family, relationship, transportation, social pressure, finance challenges, triggers, stress, and ordinary daily responsibilities. So before you book people to come and meet you, look at their work. Look at their triggers. Look at their stress. What are the pressure on them? How does he transport himself? He's coming from Kefi to come and meet you in Guarimpa. How does he navigate that route and all of that? You need to look at all of those stuff. So what is the lesson according to Global Recovery Management System? Outpatients recovery brings recovery into real life. Residential recovery creates a protected environment in which recovery can be built. Neither is automatically superior. We only look at the merits and the demerits of each case. I like it when it is both. It is outpatients, and the person will keep to all the ethics, and I know he won't go and misbehave. Good. And where I know that this guy has a tendency to misbehave, he can't be coming from home. Of recent, I took a parent to observe a place, and he saw that, oh, it's good. Oh yeah, converse with them. And then I taught him what to do, and he brought the boy there. So there are instances like that here and there. What is community-based recovery as we begin to wind up? That's where recovery happens as well. Where does long-term recovery ultimately have to function? Community-based recovery recognizes that people ultimately live within families, neighborhood, workplaces, schools, religious and social communities, peer networks, and wider society. Therefore, recovery must eventually become a way of life, a way of functioning in the everyday life. Community recovery may involve 1, family support. 2, community support group. 3, follow-up counseling. 5, home visit, check-ins where appropriate. 6, vocational support. 7, peer group support. Relapse prevention support, social reintegration, and community accountability referral networks. These things are strange in our climate because nobody is doing recovery, let alone organizing this. But by the grace of God, we are going to get there and set all these things in their appropriate places. If recovery cannot survive in the community, the recovery system has not yet completed its work. Therefore, Global Recovery Management System emphasizes discharge is not the same thing as the end of the game. Instead, discharge should lead to transition leading to follow-up leading to monitoring leading to reintegration, and then finally, sustainability. That is community restoration pattern. See what community is good, and can you fix it within that place so that you can confront the malice in that place. It has its own merit and demerit. If it will fit, oh, why not? To such cases, I even travel. I've gone to Lagos. I've gone to Port Harcourt just to handle a case around the community and all that. So, recovery managers, congratulations. Welcome to Johnny's. Recovery managers, Stella Okorigbo, are you here? Welcome to Johnny's. Then number 7, private and public facilities. Recovery happens there too. So what are private facilities? What are public facilities? What's the difference between private and public recovery facilities? Look at their distinction. The distinction is primarily about ownership, financing, governance, access, and service structure. Otherwise, they are basically doing the same work. But who is the owner? Is it government, an NGO, or an individual? You see some mission houses in churches, NGO creating a mission. Yes, it's the same goal, recovery management. And most of them don't even know about recovery management. They just think recovery is when the guy doing drug is no longer doing drug. And you will hear, my boy has recovered. My son has recovered. No, it's not correct. He recovered from drugs. He's no longer doing drugs. But has he recovered in life? Is he engaging in society and becoming his best? Those are all the works of recovery managers. So, it is not necessarily about whether one is better than the other, but who is financing it? What's the governance structure? And then how do we access the place? What is the service structure? What obtains now in NDLEA recovery management place, which we call the rehab, is not the same as private rehab. They're like heavens to earth in terms of service, in terms of structure, in terms of finances. So, what are public facilities? They are generally established and funded or managed by government or public institution and may provide services within a broader public health or social service framework. It's a public one. Like NDLEA has rehab centers across Nigeria. It's a public one. Just like you have public hospitals, they also have public rehab centers in 36 states of Nigeria, including FCT. So as recovery managers, we are doing our pilot project in the FCT, which will soon round up and then take it around Nigeria. So there is a vast work for us in the public place. So when it is public, they can be particularly important for what? 1, accessibility. In public facility, you will see one size fit it all. They charge the same fee everywhere, the same service. It is a population level services and crowd will flock the place because it's cheap. And it is a public health response. It's a referral networks. And then you see most of the vulnerable population go there. Let me shock you a bit. Even the people who are not vulnerable, who are well-to-do, are rushing there because bill is carrying them in the private place where they will charge 1 million, the minimum 1 million per month. 2.5 per month. So they are running away from those places. It's a green area for you, recovery manager, if you know what you are doing. Then what are private facilities? Private facilities may provide specialized, residential, outpatient, or psychosocial services under a private ownership or management. For example, the one Global Recovery Management Service will provide later, as God spares our life, will be a private one that caters for all kinds of people in their clusters. There'll be the one for vulnerables. Oh, these ones, they don't really have much. They will still be catered for. There will be the one for middle class. You say, well, God has raised me a bit. I don't want general. And there will be the one specially unique for the VIPs, HEPs, who say, doctor, I want a whole building. And we say, yes, go to flat Exclusivato 3. You take the bunch of key, you are just there. Parents can come in at will and go and all that, insofar they keep to the ethics and code of the place. You won't call it rehab. You look for a fine name that everybody can associate with to call it. So it's Greenhorn. So private facility may offer specialized program, different service models. What I just said now in 3 quantum are service models. Nobody is doing, it's a Greenhorn. Additional flexibility, individualized program. You can say, okay, I'm taking teenagers out for 3 days. And there's a place where you build it to attract teenagers and their lifestyle. Then, particular recovery, environment. Say, okay, you have recovered. Go and rest. Instead of the hotels that have all the hustle and bustle, you create a scenery in a place beside water parks and the rest of it, and they just catch fun. Eat, drink, take a room, no drug, nothing, just rest and calm your brain and come back after 1 week. Those things are very therapeutic. Where the services are provided, we have people needing it. It's still part of recovery. So the important question is not simply, is it public or private? But the better question is that, is the facility safe? Don't take your client to a place you know is not safe, beside major road, that is robbery, vulnerable, and all that. Is it ethical? Is it competent? Appropriately staffed? Do they have evidence-informed, person-centered, and connected to a continuity of care? Before I recommend any rehab, any psychosocial place, I look at my client, his family, then I look at that place. There was a time a client told me, doctor, don't take my son anywhere. And then I don't want anybody around him. You must get him a private place. I said, okay, man. We'll get it done. Because it's part of therapy. If the boy comes out and you just put him anywhere, then you give room for relapse. So facilities should complement one another rather than operate as isolated islands. Final talk. What is the multidisciplinary team for recovery? And why is it necessary? No recovery manager is an island on his own. Even me, I still consult. Often I will call Dr. Mba and I will say, Dr. Mba, I have a case here. So and so. Tell me the medical angle of it. Or I refer the case. He too will refer cases to me. And say, Dr. James, there's a man here, or there's a young man here. I've given him your address. I've spoken to him. He will come and see you. He's not been sleeping well and all that. So a multidisciplinary team is necessary because addiction and behavioral recovery are multidimensional problems. Somebody has mental health issue, and for a while now he has not been eating well. He is becoming malnourished. It's not your work to treat malnourishment. There's no therapy that a psychology person will do. Let him meet medical doctor. And that's why in global recovery management system, we have all kinds of multifaceted services. We have medical doctors, psychologists, counselors. Some of you are counselors of no mean pedigree and all that. You have work to do. Your table will be full once we develop your niches. It's what I'm just waiting for. Because we'll send people to you from the private rehab, from the public rehab, as God helps us very soon. So, multidimensional problems in your client cause for what? Multidimensional recovery capacities and competencies. Where he will need a nurse, we say, here's a nurse. Where he will need a medical doctor, there's a recovery manager doctor. Where he will need care, where he will need counseling, there will be. So, another may see psychological problem, other may see medical problem, and another may understand from family angle. Some of you are going to be recovery managers solely for families. So, okay, the boy is good now. This is an expert when it comes to family. Please go there. And you earn your living, you earn your wages for every service because you are professional. And that's why we must develop your niche to pitch you well. The recovery manager helps ensure that this perspective connects into one coherent recovery pathway. And the team may include, depending on the facility and the person's need, may include medical practitioners, psychiatrists, nurses, psychologists, counselors, social worker, occupational and professional, vocational workers, family support personnel, community stakeholders, and recovery managers. So what's the critical lesson? No single professional sees the whole person from one professional window. I measure and treasure from my own niche. CEO Kemi Oladimeji, are you here? You also say, okay, my own is energy. Is his energy balanced? Is he doing fine and doing well? So multidisciplinary team must have shared information. There's no case of hiding files. And I have taught you in recovery management, write cleanly and clearly for your client. You see me drawing diagrams and all that. The more you can carry along your client, the better the therapy and the better the impact. Very vital. So at this end, the facility, can I shock you, is not the recovery system. It is the structures you put in place, the procedures, and the protocols. That is the recovery system. A facility is only one environment within the recovery continuum. Think of it this way. Where recovery happens, clinic that stabilizes, rehabilitation facility is for behavioral and psychosocial change. Residential environment for structure and for protection, outpatient setting, recovery within everyday life, family for relationship and for support, community for the ultimate reintegration, and where there's work, education, and productivity going on. And finally, purpose is developed, why in the society we see sustainable relevance. Can I thank every one of you for being here for these 2 hours? I hope you learned a lesson or two today. This is Recovery Managers Training, Week 3, Session 1. So, are there issues? Are there questions? 1 or 2? Recovery does not belong to a building. Recovery belongs to a continuity. The facility may provide the environment for change, but the family, the community, and society must provide the environment in which sustainable recovery becomes a way of life. Thank you so very much. So, comments, issues?
Good afternoon, Doctor.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Who are you?
Okay, I have a question, sir.
Who are you? We want to know who is talking.
Okay, this is Kemi Oladimeji.
No, we don't have such name here. You have missed out on your appellation. Can you properly reintroduce yourself, ma?
He's the Chief Operating Officer of Saba
This
Resources,
is
Kemi
Recovery
Oladimeji.
Manager.
Recovery Manager, Kemi Oladimeji. Pardon, sir.
Okay, yes.
Okay, so you said the recovery management is not limited to only those recovering from substance abuse
and the rest.
Yes.
Yes.
So since we'll be invading families and other sectors of the society,
yes.
And currently recovery management is in partnership or collaboration with NDLEA. I just want to know if Saba Resources has plans for further collaboration with maybe the prisons or NAPTIP. NAPTIP for those people that were trafficked, especially women, and trying to be reintegrated into the society, or those that are into prostitution and they would like to be reintegrated into the society to live normal lives. Then prisons for hardened criminals that have changed. I think recovery also extends to them. So I just want to know if Saba Resources have the long-term plans to collaborate with NAPTIP or Nigerian prisons too.
Thank you very much. Other questions so that we don't waste time? That's a very important question. Recovery Manager Kemi Oladimeji, the COO Saba Resources, the Energy Marshal herself has just asked. Yes? Recovery Manager Stella Okorigbo, any question?
No question, sir.
No question. Okay. Recovery Manager Mama Adewoye, Nwoke Ifoma, Jennifer. Any other question? Mama Kudirat, Recovery Manager. Any question? Okay, so let's answer that question. Yes. Recovery Manager Kemi Oladimeji just asked. She was mentioning future. And the future you are talking about is here. For your information, Global Recovery Management System is already collaborating. Through one of us here, we are already developing recovery management for a church. And it's going to be massive. We're already on talking terms. Thank God for NDLEA. They can't do it all alone. It's only on drug and substance abuse. And they are doing heavily. We're starting from there. But underground, we are also working with other partners, NGOs. For your information, we're also working with Laplace Metaverse Mental Health for African clients. We have initiated discussion. For your information, we are going to schools. We're already talking to some school proprietors and proprietresses. And that's why we are training you to show you your various fields. By the time we work on your niches, which you submitted on Sunday, we will know where your field is. Every recovery manager has at least a niche. And it is the work of Global Recovery Management System to point and polish you to your niche, to your field. And that's where collaboration engagement. I was supposed to go to Nigerian Correctional Service last week for a function where they pointedly told me they would let me see their oga to talk this thing. I thought it was in town here until I saw Kuje, and I had no facility to go to Kuje that day. So we're doing it in various places because everywhere is replete with the need for recovery management. Dr. Mba, are you back? We will also tell you what we are doing in the medical area for recovery management. Because once people are treated in the hospital and they go home, which one concerns Agbero for overload? Like they say in Lagos. So we're going everywhere, but we must train people, train capacities to handle them. We're already profiling for African teenagers and parents and already building stuff. But if we don't train the manpower, who will do the job? It's not the job of one man. Now, even this drug addiction thing, we're doing it with NDLEA, training every of their counselors through the trainer program. We're doing it with Laplace Mental Health, say all mental health expert or trainer.
He keeps saying mental health. It's metaverse.
But they have mental health version, which by the grace of God, I am the coordinator. Laplace Metaverse Mental Health. Recovery manager Jennifer, the Laplace lady. So Laplace Metaverse. They also have mental health clinicians and coaches. We are rubbing it on them. A church in town, through one of the recovery managers here, we are already talking. We want to bring it into their workers' fold. In fact, a proposal has been taken there, not even 1, 2 or so, and we are working at that. So there's room for collaboration. So we are opening up all these windows to all recovery managers. We are not putting our egg in one basket. We find your niche and where you are going, we follow you there and support you. That's why we're training, doing all kinds of stuff to support people and to become the best in their best and to go to fields. Prison, they need us more than anything. Families, they need us more than anything. Teens, they need us more than anything. Organizations, more than anything. Offices, leadership, everywhere needs our work. But where there is no preacher, how will they hear? And how will they preach if they are not sent? And how are they going to be sent if they are not trained? So that is our journey. Please open up anywhere for us and say, recovery manager, global recovery management system, I found a field. We say, show us the field. We'll train you, equip you, go with you, and take it as a Macedonian call. And then we'll go and reap in the field together by the grace of God. So please open up. Can recovery manager Kemi Oladimeji tell us one or two of such she's working on now so that we all follow her there? Okay, she has left the scene. So as we close,
I'm still around, sir.
Okay.
I'm here, sir.
Yes. So tell us one or two fields you are combing for recovery management so that we can advertise for you and market for you.
Thank you, sir. And thanks for the response to my questions. I'm glad to hear all the positive feedback. So currently, we are working on taking out the training to people to come in as recovery managers, not only as recovery managers, but to first transform their own lives, because it's when you know what you want to tell others that you can do it better. So we want to train them on being life coaches to help others improve their life, to correct certain habits and teach people behavioral health, just energy management, how every day they can maintain their energy lanes and build their energies. So all that will just be in 3 phases. We are
you
rolling
doing
out
it for free, man? Are
No,
you doing
we are
it
not
for
doing
free?
it for free. It's not free, but the first 2 classes are free. But the final one, which will earn them a professional certificate, will be paid, but it is optional. So we are doing it in collaboration with Cyber Resources, and it is Dr. James Komolafe, that is going to train all of them on behavioral health, energy management, and recovery management. So we also included life coaching, because so many people would want to train others, not really train, but to teach them how to better coordinate their everyday life, what they do every day. So life coaching is just helping people to improve their lifestyle, to improve their choices, the choices they make every day, so that they can live healthier lifestyles. So we are starting this week, which is on Friday, August 28th, and Saturday, August 29th. I'll send the link to join the
Flyer.
training group.
Can you also send us the flyer on the Global Recovery
Yes,
Management WhatsApp Hub so that recovery managers can also benefit from it?
Yes, sir. Then they can help share it so that others can join. Because we want to take what we are doing in global recovery management system, how they want to start as soon as possible so that we create the awareness.
Thank you very much for that initiative. Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Recovery Manager Coach Olori, what are you doing in the Parents and Teens Forum for recovery management so that we can market for you? And anybody doing anything, please, it's time to speak before we go. Let's hear her.
Thank you very much, Doc. Thank you so much. And it's a pleasure meeting everyone here, because during the time we're having this conversation, I could see that the professionals and experts that we have here, and then when you talked about collaboration, my head is just going about, how many of us here can collaborate, because in one space, one hub, we have all the people that we need, to help everyone become wholesome. So for us, we have a program we run in schools already called I Lead. Presently, we're working with 45 schools in Abuja for our first phase. And we've been able to reach about 13,000 students with the program. We're hoping to expand, but since I started attending this program, our plan is to when they leave this program, they just learn about leadership, but there is no mentoring or something taking care of them in this area. So I'm thinking of adding this
every management fashion.
Yes, into it, so that once they go through the leadership program, we only do that for GS1 and 2, SS1 and 2 in all the schools. By the time they get to SS3 is exam year, but I believe that the first semester or before they finish the program, we should be able to introduce this into them, looking at their behavioral, because there's one thing to feed and there's another thing to make sure that people are consistently going to it. And we also have a program for the parents. We have a program called Parenting as a Coach. That's a program I have already been doing. I started it last year. It's a paid program, but I intend to expand and also take advantage of some of the professionals we have in here to see how we can collaborate and work together, so I can expand the curriculum of that program to include most of the things that we have discussed here. So once the flyer and everything is ready, of course, I'll be very glad to share it with the platform and also
Thank you so very much. Yes. And let me add a clause to what Muteolori is doing. Very pivotal. It's good to bring drug addiction into it. Also, weaving the place of their niches. We're going to contribute resources to what you are doing so that each of those things will discover their niches early. So that rather than waiting to do education and prevention, you are doing intervention that gives them a focus in life. So we are going to contribute to your platform. She already has 13,000 children under her kitty. That's huge. And we're happy for that. Now, you can imagine what we are going to come out with. When we have 13,000 children who knows their niches and their unique selling proposition, even while still being teenagers, then we will have less of bad behavior. Then we will have less of promiscuity. Then we'll have children who are focused for leadership. Then we have people for the next generation because they are working from the place of their personal identities and parading their personal authorities to promoting productivity in the society. So we can't wait for such platform to say, hey, rather than just profiling and prospecting them for the bad and the ugly, see their good side. Let's invade into them. That each of these children will take and come to their pivotal place of their personal identities. When I know who I am, then who I am not will be less attractive to myself. Mute, what did you say about that?
Fantastic, Doc. I know, we have started the conversation, so I'm very grateful that you're bringing it on a big, larger platform, so that
yes.
I'm very happy about it. I'm very excited. Thank you very much, Doc.
Thank you very much. I'm saying it here so that those of you who are passionate about teenagers can also flow into it. I'm already working with her as a recovery manager to say, hey, Africans children. I just woke up one day and I hear Africans teenagers. And quickly, I wired it to her. I say, they are on your neck. African teens on your head. Now we have a solution for the continent, for teenagers. And if you are into teenage assignment and all that, please join up with Muteolori, get a number, and collaborate. Nobody can do it all alone. Thank you very much. Anybody who has a space he wants us to know, even if you have not invaded it, we can support you. Build energies together and go there with you in that space. Anybody before we call it a day? We have 8 more minutes. Over to you, Recovery Manager Stella Okoribo. Thank you very much. Are you here? Okay, she's not in the house. Deputy Jennifer OJ, round up for us for today.
Thank you, sir. This was awesome. This was awesome as always, Doctor. I don't know if I must pray for a bigger brain to assimilate, because it's not just for recovery and where we are going. It's like applying it in my home, in my life, in my work.
Wow, network. So tomorrow is another day. We'll make tomorrow's zone shorter. And then please, the videos are always available. We'll make sure we post the ones for last week, the 3 of them, to the hub. And then the one of today too, we also get there. Who is left? I want to thank every one of you for participating today. You can always have all this video on my YouTube channel. James Komolafe. Watch the ones you have missed. Take the assignment. Recovery Manager Jennifer, are you back? Okay.
Yes, I don't know what happened though. I don't know how I went
tripped up. So I was filling in the gap. So round off for us. You were making a comment.
Yes, sir. I was just talking and saying how much I was blessed by today's I call it lecture. And it's awesome, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for always adding value to our lives. And I know everyone agrees with me that we will need more of this even when it ends. And what else am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to pray? Because Madam Stella likes to pray. Am I supposed to pray?
And not really prayer, just the final comment. Mama Kudirat, want to appreciate that you made out time. Mama Kudirat is one of our
Okay, but I've not finished thanking you, sir.
Okay, okay.
I'm not done. Thank you, doctor. Thank you, doctor. And I want to tell you, sir, that please, I may not catch up as fast as others, but know that you have a good student that is willing to learn under you, sir. And as much as it lies in my hand, Lord, sir, as much as it lies with me, sir, I will give my cooperation what you want me to do. As much as I can, I will do it. Thank you, doctor. God bless you. More anointing, more grace, more of recovery managers in this place. Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate
So the
you.
assignment for this class, for every recovery manager who will watch this video, wherever and whenever, and those of us here, is that write for me before the next class 3 areas of your niches. What are my 3 niches? It can be 1, it can be 2, but I don't want it to be more than 3. Attention is critical. Focus is fundamental. I don't want a jack of all trades and a master of none. So please write 3 niches and support them. Why they are your basic niches. And the answer I want to say pull out from your persona, from your potential, and from your production. They'll give me your niche per every one of those 3 domains. 3 domains will always create a niche and unique selling point according to Global Recovery Management System. Yes, Jennifer. Write 3 areas of your niches and support why they are important to you. When you can convince us, we will rally around you, build those niches, package you in your fire, and then you become a firearm recovery manager. Firearm is no longer about what you carry to go and fight. It is about your own fire incubated from you, for which you have armed yourself with to go to the field to burn it down and to create a new vegetation so that you can be called the repairer of the breach. A city not forsaken. Thank you very much. Tomorrow is another day. Bye-bye.